Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be taking a look at the new PlayStation 5 Pro controller. This is the DualSense Edge wireless controller. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. So being a Pro controller, it has a lot of customization available, like adjustable trigger stop and replaceable stick modules. Plus there's a new customization menu on the PS5, so you can create a controller that fits your gaming style. But at over 3 times the cost of a standard controller, is it worth it? So I'll be taking a closer look at the design, the new features, and I'll list out any pros and cons. But before I begin, if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to get notified of my next release. Inside the box, you get a hard case carrying case. It comes in white with the PlayStation logo on the top. Opening up the case, and inside you get a braided USB Type-C to USB-A cable, which is 2.8 meters in length. The DualSense Edge wireless controller, and then you have all the accessories, which includes 2 half dome back buttons, 2 high dome caps, 2 low dome caps, and 2 lever buttons. There's also a connector housing which locks the charging cable into place, helping eliminate the cable coming loose when gaming. And you also get an instruction manual. At the back of the case there's a small hatch allowing you to charge the controller while it's still inside the case. Taking a closer look at the DualSense Edge wireless controller, and it feels and looks just like the white PS5 DualSense controller. It doesn't feel too heavy, even with all the new add-ons, but it does feel more premium and has a number of differences. The trackpad is now black with the PlayStation symbols embossed on it, which feels smooth and nice to touch. The buttons are now black instead of the white clear ones you get with the DualSense, but it still has the PlayStation triangle, circle, square and cross. The shape of the Edge controller at the bottom is more rounded, and the black trim on the front has also been changed, being glossier rather than matte. And it now runs all the way from the front to the back instead of being cut off at the bottom. It's still all plastic, but the area to remove it is still a lot smaller than the DualSense controller. And as it's glossy, it does attract smudges and fingerprints. You can remove the front trim by flipping the release switch at the back, and you're able to replace the stick modules, which you can buy from PlayStation for just under £20 or $20. It's pretty simple to replace them. Lift off the lever at the side and slide out the stick module. You still have the PS logo button, which looks slightly bigger, a microphone and headphone jack. Underneath the sticks you get 2 new buttons, which are the function buttons. Pressing down either of the function buttons lets you access the different profiles. You can add up to 3 new profiles, plus you get the default one. Pressing the function button and the up-down arrows, you can control the volume on your headset and adjust the game slider. This is great as you don't need to go into settings menu, as it can all be done from the controller. The triggers on the back and the grip also have the PlayStation symbols embossed and has a nice ridge feel to it, which gives a bit more grip. Plus I do like the rounded shape to the grips at the bottom than the straight cut-off shape you have on the DualSense. You have sliders to adjust the length of the trigger stop and dead zones. There's 3 different adjustments. Standard, which is the same as the DualSense adaptive triggers, and this is the only way where the adaptive triggers work. If you go any shorter, it's disabled. And then we have midway, which is midway from the standard adaptive, and instant, which means they don't need to travel very far, and firing is near instant, which is perfect for FPS games. Flipping this around, and this is where you'd normally have your rear paddles on most Pro controllers, but PlayStation have given 2 different options here. You do have your standard paddle levers, but PlayStation have introduced a new half dome button, which I really do like. They're much smaller and don't stick out as much as the paddle levers, meaning that you can actually wrap your fingers around the grip and not accidentally touch the paddles on the back. But they aren't too small that you can't get to them, and you can naturally reach the buttons when gaming instead of stopping and looking to find them. Attaching the connector housing is simple. Just unclip the flap to unlock, insert the cable in and click the flap back. Connect it into the controller and slide it to lock it to keep it in position. This locks your cable into place, helping to eliminate the cable coming loose when gaming. Overall, the design and feel of the controller is good, and I've also checked and it does fit on the DualSense charging dock. Now taking a look at the settings menu on the PS5, which is different from the previous version, as the Edge controller has a lot more customization options available. In customized button assignments, you can remap each of the buttons on the controller to your specific gameplay. There's a number of different options to map your buttons, and you can store this under different profiles. The system gives you 30 different profiles. Under stick sensitivity, dead zone, you can change the sensitivity of each of the analog sticks. Sony have given a number of preset styles details, but you can even change these to your exact preference by using the curve adjustment and changing that curve. You can even adjust the dead zone as well. Under trigger dead zone, you can change the range on your triggers by adjusting each of the triggers to the exact range needed for your gameplay. I'm pretty impressed with the amount of customization options available on the controller and the level of detail available on them. On first impressions, the DualSense Edge controller is an awesome controller. It's well made, looks premium, isn't too heavy, even with all the new add-ons to the controller, and has the same ergonomics as the DualSense wireless controller. So Sony haven't moved away from a controller that's already really well designed. I like the nice little design features like the PS logo on the trackpad, triggers, and grip, which gives it that unique and quality look. The controller has good grips and feels really comfortable in my hand. Plus the new rounded design at the bottom looks nicer than the straight edge look on the DualSense controller. The function buttons are conveniently placed, so whatever you're doing, they don't get in the way. They're practical and simple to use, especially when you need to change your profile and adjust the volume or game slider. I like the new design trim and the fact you can easily swap out the stick modules. The triggers at the back are good, and I like that you have 3 different adjustment modes for your FPS games. You still have the immersive adaptive triggers and haptic feedback that you got with the DualSense controller, so there isn't anything new here. The battery life is a little bit disappointing, with the original DualSense controller having a 1560 mAh battery capacity and the Edge controller having just a 1050 mAh capacity, so 33% less. So battery life on the Edge would be around 5 to 10 hours compared to the original DualSense, which is 12 to 15 hours, but this is dependent on how you game. Now I've only had this for a couple of days, but already I can feel that my gameplay has changed, and with the multiple customization options you can make on the controller, you can definitely cater it for your own gaming style. Price wise, it's not cheap at just under £210 or $200 in the US, but you're getting a premium controller that feels awesome, looks incredible, and gives the options to customize it to your own gaming style with different profiles and the ease of switching between them, which makes this a real game changer. So there you have it, you come to the end of another video, and I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in description below, including purchasing links, and let me know your thoughts on the controller and if you would buy one or if you already have it. And for those of you who got to the end of my video, please leave a comment with Edge, as it's nice to see who's got to the end of my video. And if you enjoyed this video, check out my PlayStation 5 2 years later or the PlayStation Edition Backbone controller next. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing and see you in the next one.